there's an eclipse coming. Now, I'm old. I've seen a lot of eclipses, but I can't remember a time when an eclipse, lunar or solar, has generated the kind of official hysteria that the one on April the 8th is generating. I don't mean people who are rushing out to buy T-shirts or people who are planning a flight near to the path of where the eclipse will go overhead. Watching an eclipse is kind of fun. You'll remember that Carly Simon hit back from 1972 called You're So Vain, where it says, you flew your Learjet up to Nova Scotia to see the total eclipse of the sun. People have been following eclipses for centuries. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is school boards closing schools so students will be at home during the eclipse. Not so they can watch it with their parents, but because in the case of the Toronto District School Board, Canada's largest school board, because they're afraid that without teacher supervision, the students will look up at the sun and blind themselves. This is the age of anxiety, the age of panic, where officials constantly overthink things. I mean, there's no student in the Toronto District School Board who can't look up at the sun any recess when the sky is clear and ruin their eyesight. But because the eclipse comes shortly after schools are let out on the 8th of April, the Toronto District School Board has moved a professional development day from later in April to April the 8th. So that the children will not be tempted while they're leaving schools to look up at the sky and lose their eyesight. The region of Niagara in southwestern Ontario declared a state of emergency as of March the 28th, a full 12 days in advance of the eclipse, because they are expecting an onslaught of visitors. The Niagara region is going to be one of the best places in North America to look at this eclipse. Might be the best chance you have for another 40 or 50 years to see a really good eclipse. They're expecting 500,000, maybe even 1 million visitors. Okay, so get the fire department ready. Get the police department ready. Yeah, I get that. Have some ambulances standing by. There's going to be some rowdiness. There's going to be some partying. There's going to be a huge crowd, a lot of congestion. There'll probably be some accidents. Be ready. But a state of emergency starting almost 2 weeks before the eclipse? That's insanity. It really is. And researchers at the universities of Toronto and British Columbia said they detected in the 2017 eclipse, which was the last major eclipse that came across North America, they detected in that 2017 eclipse a few more than 40 extra traffic deaths in the 3 days surrounding that eclipse because they think people are distracted by the eclipse in the sky, or they rush to the best viewing spots and they have accidents along the way. Okay, that could happen if there's a Taylor Swift concert in your municipality. The advice from these academics? Pay attention. Wear a seatbelt. Don't follow too close to the people in front of you. And don't drink and drive. I mean, I think that's the sort of advice they would give any day of the week, any day of the year, any time. That's the kind of official panic I'm talking about. Enjoy the eclipse. If you live near it, make sure that you use proper eyewear so that you don't blind yourselves. But that's the only official advice I'm going to give you. For Postmedia, I'm Lorne Gunter.